Sticktuitiveness. One of my all-time favorite words, but not always the easiest thing to put into practice. So you might be asking yourself, what exactly is stick-to-itiveness? And I think maybe the best way to explain it is with an example. I was 17 years old. I was starting my senior year of high school in a leadership role that I was absolutely terrified of. To set the stage, the year before we had held elections, and there were 6 possible roles that we could take. I was open to 5 of them. I checked the boxes saying I would be open for any of these 5, because that 6th one was the role of chapel prefect. And that role required me to face 2 of my greatest fears. One of public speaking, and the other of making cold calls to perfect strangers to ask them for the favor of coming and giving up their time and their energy to speak to a whole bunch of high school students. Oh, I cringe even now as I think about the fear that I felt when I thought about those 2 things. And as you can imagine, when the tallies were taken, when the votes were all counted, guess who was chapel prefect? But there was something in me. I had the choice of actually rejecting the position. But something intuitively was calling and saying there's a reason. There's a reason why this opportunity presents itself. And if you don't take it right now, you're going to miss out on something for your growth. And so I took a couple of deep breaths, and I didn't give time for my mind to step in and start giving all the reasons why this was a horrible idea. And I moved, and I stuck with it. And I will not say that at the end of that year, I was an amazing public speaker. In fact, maybe all I'd been able to accomplish was the skill of recognizing that I wasn't going to die every time I stood up in front of my entire high school class. And also I got rid of a bubble, because every time I would get up at first, for the first few months, I would have a bubble in my throat, and I would sound a bit like Alvin the Chipmunk until I cleared my throat and moved on. Humiliating, but I realized again, I didn't die from that experience. In fact, it made me a bit stronger, and it allows me to do the work that I do today. Where in your life are you experiencing these places where you intuitively know that you're being pulled towards something that you don't want to do, or that feels highly uncomfortable even if you do want to do it? But something inside says, this is a great chance for your growth and expansion. Where can you bring forth your stick-to-itiveness? Follow that intuition. Take a couple of deep breaths. And stick with it.